Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Division series, rather. We're going to be taking a look at the E Division tonight. We are in the postseason. We're in the semifinals. It's very exciting. I'm going to be your host for the evening, The Sound, and I am thrilled to be commentating this semifinal. I believe our first semifinal, certainly of this division, perhaps of the season. We're going to be seeing Rooster Pizza WBP taking on SOLOlane, a Yavapai County Municipal Youth Chess Club and Swim Team story, hereafter referred to as either SOLOlane or Yavapai, but never by their full name again, because I'm a bit lazy, friends. And it's a long name. You can't blame me. Let's give a little background on these teams before we get into our best of 5 series. Both of these teams have actually taken a bit of a break since their regular league play. Rooster Pizza's last match was scheduled back on September 24th, if you can believe it. So almost a full month without an NGS match. On the other side, SOLOlane last played on the 9th of October. So both teams have had some amount of time to scrim, practice, get rested, perhaps cook up some exciting new compositions here for the postseason. Let's take a look to see where our teams were in the regular season and how we got here to the postseason. So we've got our first and second teams, Rooster Pizza and SOLOlane, going up against one another. 10 points difference in the standings. A little bit of an easier season for Rooster Pizza, but it means that the postseason bracket ends up looking a little something like this, with Rooster Pizza taking on SOLOlane, and on the other side of the bracket, Dragon Gall Z going up against the habitual line steppers. I'm not sure if that's been scheduled yet, but Division E, being a double round robin division, goes immediately into this semi-round final. We can take a look at our battleground selection as our teams work on getting the lobby up and running for us. We had Rooster Pizza opting for map pick, as this is the postseason here in the Nexus Gaming series. We no longer do coin flips for deciding map pick or first pick. Instead, the higher seeded team, in this case Rooster Pizza WBP, are given the choice for first pick or map pick. And they, of course, opted for map pick. They also went and banned a couple maps. It was Garden of Terror and Alterac Pass, with Yavapai banning out Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout. So no serious offlane duels on those more point control heavy SOLOlane focused offlanes. Vriel mentioning that the next matchup for the division is scheduled for Tuesday. So come Wednesday, the final for Division E will be set, at least the participating teams. I don't expect them to have it scheduled quite so quickly, but we will know by week's end our 2 championship contender teams. And one of our teams this evening will make it there. This is the first time for Rooster Pizza WBP in the postseason. Of course, they've had some history together on previous teams and rosters, but as the Rooster Pizza WBP, we know them as this is their first time to the postseason with their current lineup. On the other side, SOLOlane have had a little bit of postseason experience before, getting into the postseason last time round, season 17, also in Division E. So we're going to see if that postseason experience will be a deciding factor and help our lower seeded team take down Rooster Pizza, or if the regular season matchup between the two teams will be more of a predictor. As this was a double round robin division, that would typically mean a two match season between these two teams. But unfortunately, there was a forfeit in one of the regular season scheduled matches. So there was only one game between these two that we could look back on. Rooster Pizza ended up taking that series 2-1. So Yavapai have shown that they're able to take games off of this team. Interestingly enough, Game 1, we are headed to Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is the same map that Yavapai won in their regular season matchup. This is a battleground that Rooster Pizza have shown some preference for in the regular season. They've performed pretty well throughout, but notably this is where Yavapai were able to take their one game in that regular season match. So I expect a pretty tight contest here in Game 1. We may be going to a full 5 games. This is a best of 5 here in the postseason, so I am looking forward to it. I'll also take this opportunity to welcome everybody who tuned in to watch our postseason semifinal in Division E. Thank you so much for tuning in. Give a cheer, give a shout, let these teams know that you're here and cheering them on. It's always a thrill to get to go back in the VOD on Twitch and see folks calling out your good plays and whatnot. So make yourself heard. Feel free and chat it out. And thank you, of course, for tuning in, because it's great to have community support. You know, this league wouldn't be as vibrant a community if not for everyone participating in the Discord and tuning in to these broadcasts. So it's great to have y'all here. Looks like we do have a lobby forming up here, so we might be good to go shortly. As we prepare for Game 1 here on Tomb, I've got to think about the sorts of compositions we've seen from both of the teams throughout the regular season. Both teams showing the same level of hero diversity, both having played a hero pool of 31 heroes in the regular season. Based on my scouting, most of the heroes played by both sides are unique to each team. So the same level of diversity for both squads, but they are not going to be vying for specific hero picks between the two of them as much. Kind of drafting past one another is how I like to think of it. Which makes me think that Rooster Pizza opting for map pick makes all the more sense. When you aren't trying to snatch away a specific hero from your opponents, being able to dictate where you'll be playing makes a lot of sense to me. I think it's a really heads-up play from them to opt for map pick, even if they're headed to their map that they had previously lost to Yavapai on. As said, they've performed very well on Tomb throughout the regular season, so it's not strange to have them pick it. Also worth noting that in a best of 5, you have to play potentially 5 games, so 5 different maps, which when you have a pool of 11 and then you ban out 4, that means there are only 2 maps, if you go to a full 5 games in your series, that you will not have played on. So if you've played on it in the regular season well, and you're probably going to have to play on it anyway, no reason not to pick it. Know what you're headed into, know what you're looking for, and it gives you the opportunity for the last pick, which can be very powerful in a counter-pick scenario. As mentioned, neither of these teams are going to be trying to pick away heroes from one another, but that doesn't mean that they don't have specific counters to each other's hero pools in mind, with a full season's worth of scouting data at their disposal. Speaking of scouting data, some things that I will be looking out for in the draft in this first game, but also throughout the series. On the side of Rooster Pizza, they have a heavy preference for Orphea. Playing, I think, a total of 8 games of Orphea throughout the regular season, and they've got a phenomenal win rate on the hero as well. Primarily played by Pado on their team. So it's something that we'll be looking out for. I'll be looking out for, at least in particular, to make sure that if they get their hands on Orphea, there should be some pretty exciting plays. They often pair the Orphea with a Varian on the front line, a very popular tank pick for them. And that also pairs very well with their favorite healer selection of Stukov. So they've got a very cohesive composition. If they stick to their comforts, it all makes a lot of sense. On the other side, for Yavapai, there is a heavy emphasis on Johanna. Andrade is a very strong Johanna player. When they've been able to get a hold of the Crusader, SOLOlane have performed very well in the regular season. I think winning 7 or 6 out of 7 games in which they were able to play Johanna. With that said, the rest of Division E knows this, so they frequently have Johanna banned away from them. So I'll be interested to see how Rooster Pizza address that, if they're ever going to try and pick away the Johanna, or if it's going to be a mainstay ban for them. There are also some unique off-lane choices for Yavapai. We've seen a lot of Artanis pickups, some Samuro here and there. So it should be an exciting look in the off-lane. Likely they'll be going up against a Zool on the side of Rooster Pizza, either that or a Gazlo. So both teams picking rather unconventional off-laners, but I think that is pretty common in the lower divisions of the Nexus Gaming series, playing a lot more towards specific player comfort rather than perceived meta, quote-unquote, choices. Looks like we're getting the last couple bits of lobby logistics sorted out, and then we should be off to a running start here shortly. Thanks everyone for your patience as our teams get settled. Unfortunately, it does look like there was a misfire here. So the teams are going to have to redo the lobby, and we'll get back into it here shortly. So, while they sort that back out, unless they're planning to roll with it, I unfortunately cannot see the draft chat, so I don't know if one of our teams is actually going to quit out. Looks like they're going to roll with it, so let's kick over to the draft while they do it. Fair enough. So we've got a Stukov and Johanna bans here. There's the Varian ban as well. So Yavapai have done their homework, as has Rooster Pizza. So the important picks already taken out. And Lucio ban makes a lot of sense. It's the highest pick rate healer for SOLOlane thus far this season. When forced off of the Johanna, we often see Andrade picking up Muradin, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Pato opting for Zul'jin here. Interesting. Pairing that with an Oriel. Very cool. Oriel, one of the most banned heroes against Rooster Pizza, with I think a total of 6 bans throughout the season, so I'll be interested to see how they perform now that they've got the troll on their side. There's Brightwing and Nubarak. Alright, so deviating away from the typical Muradin that SOLOlane fall back on, onto the Anubarak instead. So Yavapai still need an offlaner. I expect to see a ban on one here from Rooster Pizza. Perhaps looking at the Artanis ban, strange though it may sound. Yeah, there it is. Artanis, a comfort hero on the side of Yavapai. So we aren't going to see it there. Followed up with a Leoric ban. All right. Next 2 picks here, all of the front line from Rooster Pizza currently missing. In my brief scouting, I did not see any double support picked up throughout the regular season, so we're unlikely to see Oriel paired with a secondary support. Probably going to see a more typical offlaner and tank. Diablo comes to mind. Alright, Sonya and Orphea. So they have their Orphea as well as the Zul'jin, which receives a lot of bans. So Rooster Pizza able to pick up a lot of comfort heroes here in the early parts of the draft. Last 2 picks here for SOLOlane. They need an offlaner, and they've got one more flex pick. They're a lot more likely to run a double support, but I don't think their draft is going to allow for it here. There's the Sylve and Sergeant Hammer. Okay. So we've got a ranged offlaner, be it Sergeant Hammer, Sylvanas, or Greymane. All have spent some time in their various hero development phases as solo laners. So we'll see which Yavapai want to send there in this game. Last pick now for Rooster Pizza. Likely a tank. Stitches. Okay. Very interesting. So let's take a look at these drafts as our teams load into game 1. So Rooster Pizza, last picking the Stitches, it's an interesting choice considering that they don't have any reliable follow-up CC on the main 4 heroes. Sonya brings a little bit more post 10 with the leap. Oriel can stun if there's a wall around, but Stitches usually wants a follow-up stun or a follow-up root, so not quite as much lockdown as one might hope for. With that said, Rooster have a traditional 2 frontline composition, which lots of us think of as meta and good for a reason. So it's really anyone's guess how these teams will perform here in our first game of the 5-game series. So let's get into it and introduce our teams. Here on the left in blue, we've got Rooster Pizza WBP, Cranky Rhino playing Oriel, Pato on Zul'jin, Night Knight playing Sonya, Dr. J on Orphea, and Toast Monster on Stitches. To the right in red, we've got SOLOlane, a Yavapai County Municipal Youth Chess Club and Swim Team story. Aura Luna on Sylvanas, Andrade on Anubarak, Shan CB9 on Sergeant Hammer, Galactos on Brightwing, and Sarah Linney on Greymane. You can take a look at our level 1 talents as our teams prepare for the first waves of the game. Zul'jin has opted for Recklessness, so they'll get more stacks of their baseline You Want Axe when they're at low health. Stitches is stacking globes with the Hungry for More quest. Sergeant Hammer has opted for Advanced Artillery at level 1, so we're going to keep a track of that. Andrade taking so much damage here. Dr. J almost taking them down on the Orphea. Already up to 2 stacks of You Want Axe. That's a total of 10 auto attacks for the Zul'jin player. Of course, nobody from Rooster Pizza soaked that first wave, so on the bot side, Shan was able to get a little bit of damage on the tower there, taking a lot of damage trading into Sonya here. Looks like they're going to be able to scoot out with just a sliver of health left. On the top side, Andrade not as lucky, so first blood claimed by Rooster Pizza. We've got mercenary camps available on both sides. We'll see when our teams opt to pop over and take care of them. I'm really enjoying the rotations from Rooster Pizza from a playing Tomb of the Spider Queen perspective, but they aren't giving Pado as many opportunities to get stacked on heroes as I think the Zul'jin player might enjoy. A great double stun here. Dr. J in a lot of trouble. They will fall. SOLOlane answering back with their first kill. Alright, so 1-1 on takedowns as we head to our level 4 talent tier. We've got Rooster Pizza breaking off to start the Bruiser camp on the bot side. Shan and Night Knight continue to trade back and forth. Regenerative Biosteel was the pickup for Sergeant Hammer, so they're going to start healing. We can see that with those auto attacks. So they're going to be able to trade a little bit more favorably into the Sonya now that they've got some healing in their kit. Yavapai able to drop off the first round of gems, banking a total of 18 already. Of course, they are missing a fair number of gems from their pockets. Rooster Pizza already up to a total of 44 gems in their pockets. So they're going to get to that turn-in point a little bit sooner than Yavapai. Andrade is able to stall this Bruiser camp very well with the Beetle trait from Anubarak. And on the top turn-in, we can see Rooster Pizza already getting a lot of their gems in. 37 of the ones they need. If Night Knight is able to make this turn-in uninterrupted, I think they will. That's going to secure first objective for Rooster Pizza. SOLOlane just a little more sluggish on their rotations, due, I think, largely to the fact that they have a little bit worse wave clear on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So it is harder for them to collect the objective. It takes them a longer time to kill waves and get gems. It means they're a little bit slower to their camp. It means they're unable to stall that turn-in. Big 4-hero commitment here to the mid lane from Rooster Pizza. Oh, a double stun once again. Pado taking a lot of damage, but no one able to finish off the Zul'jin kill. Lots of damage here. Sarah Linney hooked in. Galactos is going to have to use the phase shift. Andrade will not receive it. Trading tower aggro. Sarah Linney diving in, able to back out with sub 1000 HP. Night Knight making the rotation in here. Andrade down below 500. Oh, there's the kill onto the Greymane. Toast Monster able to back out. Rooster Pizza doing a fantastic job trading this fort aggro, and it looks like they'll secure the first building here before the 5-minute mark. A great first objective phase for Rooster Pizza, and they've got 24 gems in their pockets towards their second turn-in. Of course, on the side of Yavapai, they've also got the potential for an objective. Shan holding on to 17 here on the Sergeant Hammer. It's going to be tough for them to find an opportunity to turn in, I think. Sonya is going to be a much better goaltender. Andrade stunning in onto Cranky Rhino. There's the polymorph follow-up. SOLOlane dark flights in and gets hooked back. Toast Monster ringing true with a lot of these hooks. Doing a great job on the stitches. That's going to get all the more scary for Yavapai once level 13 comes online and they get the additional range from the fishing hook upgrade. On the bot side, we've got Shan working on this siege camp. I don't think Night has sniffed it out. A little too late here, so trading the wave experience a little bit for that siege camp. It's going to give the Sergeant Hammer an opportunity to turn in on the bot side. And with Galactus paying the last 5, that'll be the first objective phase for SOLOlane. We're just around the corner from the heroic talent here, Rooster Pizza picking it up now. We've got Crystal Aegis, Taztingo, Leap, Crushing Jaws, and Gorge. So Crushing Jaws, also a little bit of follow-up CC for the Gorge. Hook does not land onto Andrade there. On the other side, we've got Wailing Arrow, Cocoon, Napalm Strike, Blink Heal, and Cursed Bullet. So Rooster Pizza making quick work of the top objective. 4 hero commitment on both sides. There's the dig in from Andrade and a lot of CC follow-up. Toast Monster able to find the Gorge onto Sylvanas. Oh, the Cocoon unable to find it in time. Shan gets a solo kill down in bot lane on the Sonya. That is a rough go for Rooster Pizza, missing the kill on top and losing their offlaner there on the bot side of the battleground as well. So SOLOlane were unable to secure the objective, or the first fort with that objective. Pato falling very low. They'll pop the heroic and back out. Oh, Shan hooked in here. Do they have the thrusters? Doesn't look like it. Oh, SOLOlane trying to cover their retreat with a cocktail or two. So a very low takedown game thus far. Of course, the next turn-in is available for Rooster Pizza. They've got 4 of their heroes committed to that here in top lane. Dr. J, the last person with the ability to finish off that turn-in, opts instead to go for their Bruiser Camp to match the right-hand Bruiser Camp as put out by SOLOlane. Andrade looking for a out-of-vision engagement there onto Pato, but Toast Monster was able to zone for them, controlling vision of that turn-in point very well. And Andrade would love to get those gems turned in. That's a big drop-off. It can be very tricky for your main tank to hold all the gems and zone for the team. Rooster Pizza pretty heavily advantaged here. Checking in on the bot side, Night has used the leap. It looks like it was mostly to escape. On the top side, Orphea is able to finish off the turn-in. Oh, and there's the hook and Gorge. Andrade able to connect with a lot of CC, but Shan is going to get whipped back into the wall. A huge Wailing Arrow lands onto 2. SOLOlane onto Dr. J will take out the Orphea. There's an overlap on the save heroic. SOLOlane falling low. Andrade trying to get onto Cranky Rhino. A great few kills for SOLOlane to pick up there before this objective defense. They should be able to clean up without too much trouble. Of course, losing their offlaner means that Night is going uncontested here on the bot side. So SOLOlane probably going to lose this bot fort even after those takedowns. They're not going to lose anything more in mid, and Andrade has been able to stall this top web weaver with the objective, or with the trait beetles as well. So 2 objectives and 2 forts for Rooster Pizza. Level 13s are online. Toast Monster hooks Shan in. Night Knight follows up with the leap. They're able to zip out with the thrusters, but unfortunately they go immediately into the waiting arms of Pato on Zul'jin. The phase shift from Galactos a little too slow to save Shan on the Sergeant Hammer, and there's the follow-up hook onto Galactos. Walked too far from the minion wave for a safe blink out. So another 2 kills going over to Rooster Pizza means they'll be able to siege up here a little bit longer if they so choose. It looks like they're happy to do just that. Andrade connecting the stun onto Pato. I think it was probably a misclick on the Cocoon, aiming for Cranky Rhino, but a little bit of cursor blocking. That's real heads-up play right there. All right. SOLOlane trail by about a half level, but they are in the lead towards the next objective phase. Night Knight does not have the leap. Oh, they do. It's back up, but it doesn't matter. That was a very clean set of CC. Andrade hooked and unable to find the burrow charge to safety. Losing those gems means that SOLOlane no longer has the opportunity for the next Webweaver phase. Toast Monster continuing to chase here, looking for one more hook, I suspect. Probably just going to go for a raw Gorge. They have it available. There's the hook onto Shan, and there's the Gorge, putting the Blink onto a short CD. Sergeant Hammer will fall. 7 takedowns to 5 here in favor of Rooster Pizza, and they've taken the level lead, or I'm sorry, the talent tier advantage as well. Oriel has a 16, and it's called Will of Heaven. Okay, attack speed. Likely for the Zul'jin. Not a bad pickup to double down on this Troll's trait. We've also got percent damage unlocked for Night Knight. Rooster Pizza unlocking the next objective phase here after having picked up that siege camp in the bottom. What a hook onto Galactos. Toast Monster trying... Oh, the huge leap onto 3. Luna and Andrade both fall. SOLOlane will not make it out alive. A huge set of takedowns there. What a massive leap from Night Knight after following up on the hook. Man, Toast Monster, a real menace here on the stitches. SOLOlane are having trouble. What a hook once again! Toast Monster continues to pester SOLOlane. They're going to immediately follow up for another takedown onto Sergeant Hammer. When it rains, it pours, and it is raining for Blue Team thus far. They may be able to look for a core. Oh, another hook connects right out of spawn. Andrade is going to have to retreat. Luna pops the Wailing Arrow here early. Cranky Rhino slowed immensely from the core defenses. Night Knight into the Cocoon. Andrade falling low, however. Dr. J has their number. They're going to kite out. Core shielding down here. Night Knight leaps in onto 2. Sonya will fall, however. There's the kills going in favor of Rooster. However, another one, Galactos, falls, and that'll be it. Game 1 going in favor of Rooster Pizza after a series of intense late-game fights. GG and well played. Fantastic Game 1. It looked pretty even there in the early going of it, but in the end, Rooster Pizza able to turn it on in the late game and take some serious pain over to Yavapai. We can take a look at our post-game stats here. And Pato on the Zul'jin, top damage for the team. Not quite top of the lobby. That privilege, of course, goes to SOLOlane, likely due to their cursed bullet usage, but that is likely a lot of axes distributed on the side of Rooster Pizza. Anything else sticking out? Nothing too out of the ordinary here statistics-wise. We can also take a look at our builds. Level 13 Chop Chop going for the attack speed for Toast Monster. Very interesting. More of a burst damage focused Stitches build. So there you have it. The triple ranged composition for Yavapai not working out, unfortunately. Of course, in a best of 5, it's reasonable to take some liberties here and there, kind of stretch and see what's working for you, especially against a team that was able to defeat you in the regular season. It was a close series, I believe, based on the pregame banter from the captains and the scorecard of 2-1. But in the end, Yavapai was unable to pick up another Tomb of the Spider Queen win against Rooster Pizza. And I gotta say, Toast Monster on the Stitches looked very scary. I'm not sure how much they've shown it in the regular season. The Stitches pick, the Shambling Horror, can be really rough to play against. So if that's something that they've been hiding from the rest of the folks, then that would be a tough one to learn in the postseason here. And we've got our next battleground selected. Looks like Yavapai have opted for first pick with their defeat from game 1. They were able to choose and opted for first pick. So once again, Rooster Pizza taking us to a battleground of their choice. We're headed to Infernal Shrines this time around. So Stitch is not going to be as much of a factor on this battleground, I wouldn't think. Hooking into the objective pit can be challenging, though teams having to run into you, having to run onto the objective can be very punishing. So we'll see if they continue with that selection. All right. So last game we saw Stukov, Varian, and Lucio bans. No, I'm sorry. Leoric bans on the side of Yavapai. I wouldn't be too surprised to see another Leoric ban given the battleground. In fact, I wouldn't be too surprised to see all of the bans stay the same, given how much of a preference Rooster Pizza has shown for the Stukov and Varian in the regular season. Sticking with the Stukov ban at the very least. And the Joe as well. Another fantastic battleground for the Crusader. And I think if we put on our way back hats and look back in history, Johanna and Infernal Shrines were released at the same time. This was, of course, well before I played Heroes of the Storm, but that speaks more to my playing it and less to the game's longevity. Sticking with the Varian ban as well. Interesting. I would think that you would only need to ban one of the two. There's a Brightwing ban. Alright. So, not enjoying how many polymorphs they had to deal with in game 1. Sticking with the first pick Greymane. Alright. Sarah Linney looked very comfortable on it in game 1. It can perform very well here on the battleground as well with the cocktail build. We'll see. It's a Vala choice. Alright. Also interesting to note, and there's the Rhaegar as well, interesting to note that game 1 we saw Dr. J on the Orphea rather than Pado. Pado in the regular season played 7, I think, out of the 8 Orphea games that Rooster Pizza racked up. So it's interesting to see rosters do a little bit of that hero trading. Adds an extra layer of draft flexibility. All right, Arthas and Lucio. All right, they didn't have the opportunity for everybody's favorite rollerblading, EDM making, frog costume wearing DJ. But here he is in the flesh. It's Lucio. There's the Artanis ban once again. Another battleground that I don't think of as an Artanis specialty, but once again, this is more of a target ban specifically onto Yavapai's hero pool. They have shown some preference for it. One of their most picked heroes so far. Last ban, it was Leoric last time round. It's going to be ETC this time. So we'll see if the Leoric pick comes through. He's a great hero to have for the Shrine, being able to pick up Neil Peasants at 4, which does bonus damage to monsters and mercenaries. Kael'thas and Diablo, okay. A little bit of fire and fire. Of course, Diablo thrives on this battleground. There's lots of tight terrain for him to find wallbangs on. Kael'thas able to spread the living bombs very well on the objective. Last two picks here for Yavapai. They opted for 2 ranged in the last 2 slots for game 1. We'll see if they go for a more traditional melee hero this time round. Opting instead for the Phoenix. Alright, so they're sticking with the triple ranged. Last pick here for Rooster Pizza. Leoric would have a miserable time playing against Phoenix until they got to the Shrine. I still like the Leoric pick, I think. But that matchup is quite miserable, so I wouldn't be so surprised. Opting for Dahaka instead. Dahaka actually having a pretty good matchup into Phoenix, believe it or not. Alright, so we can head over to our draft screen as our teams load into the lobby. The combination of Lucio and Arthas is a spooky one, especially when faced with 3 damage dealers. You know, Tassadar bringing a little bit of hard CC as well with the, or terrain-based CC, I should say, with Force Wall. With that said, once again, I think the triple ranged has fallen out of favor in the meta for a few reasons. I do favor Rooster Pizza's draft. We'll see who's able to take it here in game 2. Let's introduce our teams once again. Here on the left, we've got Rooster Pizza WBP, Cranky Rhino playing Rhaegar, Toast Monster on Diablo, Pato playing Vala, Night Knight on Dahaka, and Dr. J playing Kael'thas. To the right, in red, we've got SOLOlane, YCMYCCaST story. Andrade playing Arthas, Aura Luna on Tassadar, Shan CB on Phoenix, Sarah Linney on Greymane, and Galactos playing Lucio. Checking in on our level 1 talents. Both teams taking their time, potentially looking for body blocks on the minion wave. Have we traveled back in time to 2015? Guess not. All right. Lots of stacking talents to keep track of. All right. So we've got Frost Presence for Andrade. Oh, lots of damage. Andrade flipped and stunned into the Tassadar wall. It's going to be a tough thing for our Arthas player to have to look out for. Already up to 3 stacks on static charge. On the other side, we've got Stormcaller, Creed of the Hunter, losing its first Gambit stack. Sarah Linney going in for the kill. First Blood, a great pickup for Yavapai in the early going of Game 2. We've also got Mana Addict and Tissue Regen for Dahaka in the top lane. Speaking of, we can check in. Shan doing a great job to bully this Dahaka. They'll pop their Essence, There's the teleport out. All right. So it's going to be a tough one between those two. Rooster Pizza a little bit faster here on the left-hand side siege camp. They're dropping a little bit of mid-lane experience given their rotational path. They're not going to be able to find the invade. It also means that they're a little bit slow if they want to contest the bottom mercenaries. Of course, they do have the Dahaka, so they are able to threaten a 5-hero commitment to the bot side, while SOLOlane has their Phoenix stuck in top. Knowing this, Rooster Pizza immediately take away that siege camp. Andrade getting the rotation here in onto Diablo, not committing too hard onto it, finding a couple more stacks for their level 1, all the way up to 6 stacks on Frost Presence. At level 4, we've got Toast Monster opting for Souls to the Flame, a W-based Diablo build. There's the follow-up stun onto Andrade. SOLOlane having a lot of trouble dealing with this bottom lane siege camp. And the first shrine has been announced here in the bot lane. It is a Mortar Punisher. Neither team able to make time for their seed or their bruiser camp here in the top lane. So Rooster Pizza are gonna opt for it. I'm sorry, it was a Arcane Punisher. Either way, Rooster Pizza very late to this objective. A quick 10 objective minions going over to SOLOlane. I don't know if Rooster Pizza are going to be able to make up this gap. Yeah, a quick 29, almost 30 for SOLOlane. Andrade taking a lot of damage. Galactos gets tossed in, but Lucia will be safe. Of course, this gives SOLOlane the opportunity to get the objective and send their offlaner up to top lane to deal with that camp before it gets any serious value. Toast Monster draws the Punisher jump on the lane side of the wall, so they're not going to be able to have their fort contribute to this defense. It'll give this Punisher a little bit more longevity and buy SOLOlane the space they need to take down the front wall here in bottom lane. Snaganonis asking where the traffic report is. You're going to have to tune in to a Limehouse cast for that. Unfortunately, I don't even know what that means. I know it is a joke about traffic reports and casting, but it's an inside joke that none of us are in on, so. Back to the match. We've got level 7s on both sides. Anything out of the ordinary. So at level 7, we've got Blood in the Thunder for Cranky Rhino. Not what I'm accustomed to seeing there. This is also a pretty big power spike with Hot Pursuit. Pado able to run around even faster than before. Level 7 not yet chosen for Night Knight on the top side. Traditionally, we see Feeding Frenzy out of a lot of Dahakas. So I'll be interested to see if that cooldown reduction on the crowd control is their pickup as well. I like this rotation in from SOLOlane. With the pressure that they have on the top side, trying to force the rotation in from the Dahaka, not a bad idea. Unfortunately, Sarah Linney caught on a weird side of the engagement, so we're going to lose the Grey Mane. Andrade falls immediately thereafter. We've got quest completion for both Toast Monster and Dr. J. Toast Monster up to 100 souls in their Black Soul Stone. They're going to be able to get a 5-second respawn timer. And once again, Rooster Pizza ahead towards the Storm Talent tier. They'll be unlocking it here in a moment. It was Feeding Frenzy for the Dahaka at level 7. So we'll see where heroics end up. We've got a Pyroblast choice for Dr. J. I'm going to be interested to see if that means we see a sound barrier in response. from the side of SOLOlane. We've also got Ancestral, APOC, Reign of Vengeance, Dahaka's thinking about it, heavily considering. Mortar Punisher in top lane, coming up in the next 20 seconds. On the other side, it's Army of Ghouls, Black Hole, Planet Cracker, Cursed Bullet, and High Five. Alright, so no burst heal for the burst damage of Pyro. And I don't know if Rooster Pizza are aware of Andrade's rotation. Unfortunately, he might get wallbanged here. Alright, he's going to back up. And with both teams, there was the cleanse very early on to Night Knight. Andrade deep into the backline. They pop the Icebound Fortitude and the Ghouls. They're healing up as much as they can. Galactos and Andrade both targeted there. Unfortunately, unable to get too much healing from the Ghouls. There's the wallbang onto SOLOlane. A great follow-up stun onto Galactos. Takes the Lucio down. Shan able to blink over the wall before Pato finishes him off. And with those two takedowns, Rooster Pizza likely to secure this second objective here in top lane. I liked the thought behind the rotation from Andrade there, parking in that top objectives bush. Unfortunately, they got a little too far ahead of their team, and they were unable to get the trades they needed in terms of HP on both sides. Dr. J eats the Cursed Bullet and a couple fort shots. SOLOlane will secure the takedown and fall themselves. Oraluna and Andrade both stunned by the Punisher. Pato has survived. They've got, I think it's just one death thus far. Yeah, so they're still at, I believe, 20% increased attack speed. Galactos found by the Punisher once more. Andrade retreating as much as they can, securing another stack, up to 13 now on their level 1 Frost presence. Speaking of 13s, Rooster Pizza have the next talent tier. Continuing with the W build, we've got Earth Shield for Cranky Rhino. Toast Monster unlocking additional spell power with Hellfire at 13. Vala's opted for Gloom. Primal Rage, so an auto attack boost for Night Knight on the Dahaka. Oh, and on the bot side, Fort went down. Totally missed it, friends. Alright. Vision Bomb, sure. On the other side, Shattered Armor, that makes sense when paired with the level 1. We're also up to 105 stacks on the Frozen Wastes. So next objective here in bot lane means that Rooster Pizza are in the driver's seat as far as advantage is concerned. They'll have a well to get back to, whereas SOLOlane will be in trouble if they fall low. Galactos trying to get the damage here onto Toast Monster. A great Icebound Fortitude. Andrade has connected with the... Oh, Pato has to vault in the other direction. Holy cow, they survive and Phoenix dies? That's incredible that Vala was able to make it through that. Toast Monster still very healthy. Has the spell armor from Soul Shield. Oraluna might be in trouble here with the rotation in from Night Knight. Looks like Dahaka won't make it in time to drag anyone under towers, but a great bit of survival for Rooster Pizza there. I was not expecting Vala to make it out with such a precision-placed Planet Cracker, cutting off their path of retreat. Gonna have to chalk that survivability up, at least in part, to their level 13 pickup Gloom. Level 16, it's a big power spike for Pato on the Vala, picking up Manticore. They've got percent damage now. This is, of course, recently nerfed Manticore. There was a patch. I don't know if the NGS channel has a patch command But you can check it out. It exists. Elongated Tongue, another important pickup. Night able to increase their threat range now. Tongue now having a 20% longer length. It's a long tongue, ladies and gentlemen. SOLOlane are down a talent tier here. I wouldn't be surprised if they opt to skip this objective phase. It looks like they're doing just that. Instead, soaking up in mid and bot while Rooster Pizza secure this next objective. Of course, it is a powerful one. The Frozen Punishers shutting down structures makes their pushing prowess pretty much unmatched as far as Punisher variety is concerned. Level 16 is online for both sides now, so we'll have an even talent tier defense for SOLOlane. I would love to see Night soaking the top lane just to extend their lead a little bit. They do still have the Brush Stalker available, but who cares what I want to see. Andrade eats the stun. There's the high five. They have the Icebound Fortitude as well, so that armor and CC reduction missing moving forward. There's the isolation, followed up by the wall bang. Andrade is not going to survive, especially with John Cena getting involved before it gets locked down. We're throwing heroics left and right. Shan CB unable to iframe the Pyroblast. What a tongue from Night connects onto Saralini, and there's another 2 takedowns. Pado's chasing them down, vaulting in, looking for the Phoenix takedown here. One more vault. Oh, they just clip their auto attack, unable to connect. Of course, we've got Aura Luna and Shan zoned out from Toaster Monster. I don't know if Diablo's going to survive here. There's the leap in from John Cena, and the core down below 50% HP. Looks like this is going to be game 2 going for Rooster Pizza once again. GG and well played. So game 2, a little bit more commanding for our higher seeded team. Rooster Pizza looking very comfortable playing into this triple ranged composition. Yeah, I'm interested to see if Yavapai are going to stick to their guns with the triple range setup after its performance here in games 1 and 2. Let's take a look at our post-game stats. So we've got 40,000 damage from Shan CB. You can rack up a lot of damage when you're just beating up a Dahaka for most of the game. As for the core heroes, Aura Luna able to top the damage charts with 36,000 damage. Of course, the takedowns is perhaps the more important statistic, with 10-3 in favor of Rooster Pizza. You don't have to deal as much damage if your opponents don't have as much HP. And Phoenix, notoriously as an offlaner, does not have a lot of HP. I'll also say that Rooster Pizza looked very clean with their CC chains and follow-ups. Night able to land some really clutch drags, and Dr. J able to follow up on most of Toast Monster and Night-Night's engagements with the Kael'thas, opting for Netherwind at level 4, so that gravity lapse range instead of cooldown reduction. A very comfortable showing from Rooster Pizza here in Game 2. Head over to our Battleground selection as we head to look towards our Game 3. I liked the Arthas pick into the composition that Rooster Pizza ended up with. Unfortunately, I think the Lich King tends to perform best when paired with another frontliner, someone who can supplement the engage. So a Phoenix doesn't quite fit the bill. Okie dokie. Game 3, headed to Battlefield of Eternity. It is Yavapai's choice, so opting for the Battleground selection rather than the first pick this time around, trying to change their luck with a different approach to the third game. I would love to see a double frontline composition from them. We can expect that the Artanis ban will continue rolling here. This is probably Artanis' best battleground, so no reason to believe that Rooster Pizza is going to let it slip through this time around. On the other side, games 1 and 2, Rooster Pizza showed different styles of composition, so I don't know that SOLOlane necessarily have the best data from within the series to pick out this one hero has been causing us trouble. Of course, important to note that SOLOlane are on the ropes here. It's a best of 5, so there is the potential for Rooster Pizza to close this out in a quick 3-0 if they're able to continue their forward momentum here into Game 3. I will say, after seeing how strong Toast Monster looked on the Diablo, I would expect to see them receive a ban on Battlefield of Eternity. It is the Lord of Terror's playground, given how much terrain there is. You know, if Infernal Shrines is a good Diablo map, then Battlefield of Eternity, all the better. As we get into our Game 3 draft, we'll see if Yavapai change up their bans at all, or stick with the Stukov Varian here in the first half. Johanna also drops in priority. There's the Artanis ban, right to the top of the order this time around. Previously, Rooster Pizza have opted for the Johanna ban in the first slot as well. This isn't as great a Johanna battleground just because the wave clear that she brings isn't as impactful on a two-lane battleground. Yeah, so they're gonna forego it, opting instead for the Greymane ban. I think it's a good adaptation. Sarah Linney has looked very comfortable on the hero, and it is a excellent hero for burning down immortal HP. It's been varying every other game. We'll see if Yavapai stick with it or look to flex this second ban. Going for the Johanna ban. Alright. So taking away that opportunity for themselves. That is a quick first pick Vala. One of the prime immortal HP burn heroes on the battleground. Raynor, another really solid choice in that category. All right, Oriel once again for Cranky Rhino. We saw Pato playing the auto attack style in Game 2. I'll be interested to see if they opt instead for Q build here in Game 2. And there's the Jaina. Not a hero that I typically associate with this battleground, given how difficult it can be for her to operate if she gets flanked, but Dr. J may just be very comfortable on it. So no front line yet for Rooster Pizza. I'd love to see SOLOlane ban a tank here. I'm going to stick with the ETC ban. I don't know if Yavapai play Diablo. If not, I expect Toast Monster to pick it up. We could see Andrade pick the Arthas once again with that Anubarak ban. It's not a bad map for Arthas, because there are lots of ways that he can sneak around fog to get on top of something like a Vala or a Jaina. Okay, Morales Tyrael. So a double support from Yavapai. Wait a second. Are we playing Juice Pirates? Yavapai have set up for a Juice Pirates composition with the Morales Rainer Tyrael. We'll see how Rooster Pizza respond here in these last two picks. May and Sonya. And there's Zarya. So a triple support with the potential for Juice Pirates. That's a funky one. For sure. That's the last battleground. We're headed to this battleground. Alright, so potential Juice Pirates for Yavapai. A triple support, solo damage Rainer. I don't know if Rooster Pizza have what it takes to stop Juice Pirates. With that said, it is a straightforward but challenging composition to run. So it very well could be that the execution is a little too tight for SOLOlane to pull off, and they might not even be looking for the juice. So it could just be a normal composition for all we know. Potentially for the last time, introducing here on the left, Rooster Pizza, Dr. J on Jaina, Cranky Rhino on Oriole, Toast Monster on May, Night Night on Sonya, and Pado on Vala. To the right in red, SOLOlane with Andrade on Tyrael, Galactos on Morales, Aura Luna on Rhaegar, Shan CB9 on Zarya, and Sarah Linney playing Raynor. Alright, so SOLOlane are trying to sneak past. They're going to get caught here. Sarah Linney and Shan cut off from Galactos and friends. It's a 5-hero commitment, and Andrade will fall. Unfortunately, they were unable to sneak through the bot side. That 50-50 did not go in their favor, with Rooster Pizza setting up in lane. Toast Monster doing some great body blocking onto Aura Luna, and all the while, Night Night left unattended there in top lane to get half of that tower. So a quick 2 takedowns and a bit of experience lead for Rooster Pizza. I'm going to be curious to see if SOLOlane still try and get to a fort in between these waves. Pado has opted for Hungering Arrow at level 1, trying to get additional stacks, or I'm sorry, Puncturing Arrow, stacking up the Hungering Arrow. Toast Monster looking for a combo there. Pado falling very low, but we're going to lose the Raynor first. So an additional takedown for Rooster Pizza. Andrade falling very low here, taking a lot of damage from Dr. J. Checking in on top side. Shan has lost a tower and half of their HP. They've got no innate sustain. And it looks like SOLOlane are not going to contest this pickup on the bot side camp. Toast Monster finds a combo onto 2, but they do not end up in the Blizzard. Andrade eats another Blizzard. Oh, both heroes with Blizzard abilities are on the same team. But they're able to escape without eating the stun. Level 4 is online for Rooster Pizza, and they're getting aggressive, looking towards the Bruiser camp here. Level 4 is on both sides now. They're not going to check the bush. Toast Monster able to get dismounts. They still have their unstoppable. A lot of damage onto Lieutenant Morales here. Galactos skates out with sub 10 HP. Insane living from Galactos. They're jumping back in with their well tap online. Andrade is going to have to Hearth. Tyrael, a very mana-hungry hero, so they're not going to be performing all that well without any blue juice. A quick halftime show victory going over to Rooster Pizza. And this is before Monster Hunter comes online for Pato, so it only gets faster from here. I almost would have loved to see SOLOlane try and skip this first objective. Oraluna onto Toast Monster there. They're low, they're out of mana, they're out of HP as well. 4 takedowns unanswered thus far for Rooster Pizza. Night Night headed back up to the top lane with Shan CB9. Cranky Rhino already up to 2 stacks on the level 4 repeated offense. Repeated offense. Repeated offense, I'm sticking with that pronunciation. That makes more sense to me. Andrade taking so much damage from Pato here. They're going to vault in. An additional bit of move speed will get Tyrael out with sub 100 HP. The fort in bot down below half as well. And that's without the Vala connecting their autos. On the top side, Night Night able to win the 1v1, narrowly surviving there, but able to do it nonetheless. Sonya able to get through the rest of the gate and half of that top tower for their 1v1 troubles. Interestingly enough, this Bruiser Camp steal play that Rooster Pizza did before that first objective means that they're going to be able to grab this in between objectives now and potentially look to put pressure on that bottom keep if they so choose. Andrade anchoring the bush. SOLOlane take this camp very slowly. They're looking to fight with their triple support. Andrade putting a lot of damage onto Pato, and there's the first takedown in favor of SOLOlane. Seralini and Galactos fighting over the camp with Toast Monster. Cranky Rhino gets the stun onto Oraluna. Toast Monster falling very low. They still have their their trait available. Dr. J on the bot side all the while has been fighting it out with Andrade, and so they're able to get a takedown. The 5-hero commitment works out for Rooster Pizza, and it looks like they are going to use that opportunity to immediately get onto this bottom fort. They're going to trade fort aggro here. Shan CB getting full energy and a lot of damage. The stun lands onto Seralini, and they're only going to get through about half of this fort's HP before it falls. What's our level 1 from Zarya? Feel the Heat. Okay, Feel the Heat Zarya might be able to get through this, but the blinds from Mei are what stop it in the end. All right, so that wipe gives Rooster Pizza an opportunity to get pushing here in bot lane with their Bruiser camp. Even if only for a moment, it's also secured them their heroics. We've got Water Elemental, Crystal Aegis, Avalanche, interesting. Rain of Vengeance, and Sonya is thinking about it. Heavily considering. Level 7, Pato opted for Monster Hunter, so I like the play from Rooster Pizza, leaving the Vala alone to siege up there. Night Night doing what they can to get through this top fort, ignoring Shan as much as possible. That fort aggro is going to do a lot of damage. Night Night falling very low there. And SOLOlane was able to pick up their bruiser camp, so perhaps going to relieve some of the wave pressure, but not if they send it a little too early. All right, so the Immortal is headed to top lane. There are still 2 Shaman available. All right, looks like they'll survive. Toast Monster gets a huge avalanche in onto 3. There's the blind follow-up. Toast Monster will fall to the fort aggro. Andrade falling very low as well. Able to survive a little bit longer before Pato takes them out. So trading 1 for 1, tank for tank. With that said, it's a 5-hero commitment once again from SOLOlane to the top lane. Night able to get through that bot keep wall while SOLOlane were attempting for the 5-hero defense in top lane. We're just around the corner from level 13. That last keep tower will do it. So Rooster Pizza, little over 2 level lead, a full talent tier lead. The big power spike for Dr. J, unlocking Icy Veins. It's a whole lot more burst damage available to one of the highest burst damage heroes in the game. SOLOlane are grouping back up. They want to sneak back around to find their way into that fort. Andrade gets caught out. Night leaps in onto Galactos, and Sergeant Morales falls. Lieutenant Morales falls, rather. The other Terran that we've seen out of SOLOlane. Andrade very low here. Seralini trying to peel with that penetrating round. Looks like they're only going to lose 1 in that engagement. So Rooster Pizza in a good position to put a lot of damage onto this bot keep. They've got a healthy wave and a catapult at their backs. And still have the talent tier lead. Toast Monster looking for the avalanche. Does not connect with any. But they're able to clean up the keep nonetheless. So constant catapult pressure now in their favor in bot lane. Rooster Pizza are sitting pretty here as we get towards the next objective phase. They're going to be able to pick up another camp for bot lane, just increasing that pressure all the more. I think the minions were able to scout SOLOlane. There's the dismount from Toast Monster. Yeah, that rotation into the vision was not safe. It's not safe, Shan! Oh no! There's a great follow-up stun from Cranky Rhino. We pop the heroics on the side of SOLOlane. These are heroics typically reserved for taking buildings, but they can be used for fights as well. There goes Cranky Rhino. Toast Monster's next to fall. Night coming in here. They do have Leap available. So Stim Drone still... Or, I'm sorry, not Stim Drone, but the Team Taxi. What you call it? Medevac. Night perhaps thinking about looking for a leap here. But it's going to be a quick halftime grab for Rooster Pizza. Of course, on the top side, they've got a problem. You know, this Siege Camp and Catapult likely going to get through this keep with none from SOLOlane responding. They're going to secure this next objective, but it's going to come at a heavy cost. They've got level 13s of their own. Law and Order, Swift Rat. These are all talents you would expect to see. Yeah, and Rooster Pizza are going to have to defend bot lane with catapults and a bruiser camp and a single, Goat Man left as well. It gives Rooster Pizza free clear here on the hard-won objective from SOLOlane. Shan able to get to top lane in time before the keep fell. And with how quickly Rooster Pizza are shredding through this Immortal and how slowly SOLOlane are getting through the bottom waves, I don't think Yavapai are going to get an opportunity to sneak around on that bot fort, as I'm sure they'd like to do. Here's the rotation in. Toast Monster looking for the avalanche. Andrade sidesteps it, able to sneak out with the Eldruins. Some smooth play from the Tyrael there. Andrade showing a fair bit of comfort. Level 16's now online for Rooster Pizza. And the passive experience gain is going to heavily favor them at this point, with 0 structures remaining for SOLOlane. They're going to press their advantage. Leap lands onto 3. There's the sanctification, but Araluna is out of the range. We lose Zarya. Pato falling low. A timely Aegis plus the heal. Dr. J is going to fall. Saralini trying to get some return takedowns. In the end, it's still 4 takedowns for 1 in favor of Rooster Pizza. They've got 2 catapults here in bot lane. Galactos on Morales, not known for her wave clear. Of course, respawns aren't so far away, but the wave clear from SOLOlane is not very good. Lucky for them, the catapults are far more interested in that mid tower, so the core staying alive a lot longer than it necessarily should, but I don't think it's going to stay alive long enough for SOLOlane to make the save. That's going to do it. A quick 3-0 going in favor of Rooster Pizza. GG and well played. So in the end, the experimentation with the triple ranged comp of Yavapai did not work out for them and set them a little too far behind to make the comeback there in the decisive game 3. All right, let's see what our post-game stats look like. Pato, top of the charts with hero damage. If we had a stat for Immortal Burn HP, I'm sure that would have been top of the charts as well, given their repeating arrow build. Hungering arrow build, rather. Repeating arrow is their talent at level 4. So there you go, 3-0 for Rooster Pizza. Let me see if I can check in on our teams and get a post-game interview here. They looked very comfortable in the objectives there. They definitely understood their win conditions. They played well to them. They also performed well dealing with out of the ordinary compositions. So an excellent way to keep calm under that pressure. So they'll be headed up to the finals for Division E. They'll be facing off against either Habitual Line Steppers or Dragon Gall Z, depending on how Tuesday's series goes. And let me ping the team. To let them know that I'm here and available for the interview. Game 1 on Tomb, it was a clean set of rotations that set Rooster Pizza ahead, as well as a little bit more wave clear. And after a series of excellent hooks, they were able to take it, and it looks like we will be joined for an interview here by our fair friends from Rooster Pizza. GG, well played. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. How are you feeling?
Fantastic. I was not expecting a sweep. Based on the pregame banter, I don't think y'all were either. Is this the semifinal match that you were expecting?
I mean, you know, I don't go into any kind of match expecting like a sweep or this or that or whatever, man. We just go take it game by game and take what the opponents give us, you know. Hats off to I mean, I love SOLOlane, I do. That name is ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie, but hats off to him. Because yeah, they put up a good fight, and I really appreciate the competition tonight. So congratulations to them for making the playoffs, and good luck to them in future seasons.
Absolutely. So they definitely had a funkier set of heroes in games 1 and 2. Is the triple range something that you've seen in the regular season in Division E? Is this more of a divisional meta? Is that a Yavapai special? What's your take on the triple ranged compositions we saw in game 1 and 2?
I would say that it's probably a Yavapai special. It's not something that we've actually saw for them during the season. I don't remember. It was definitely different, that's for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, one of the things that I did turn up in my scouting was that they do a lot of non-meta comps, like double healer is very common for them. I've seen like they did a Lily and Anduin comp at one point that they won with, and so they're, they seem to be really, really good at trying different things and making it work. So, hats off to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoy, one of the things that I really love about the lower quote-unquote divisions of NGS is lots of us are not as slavishly following the meta. I say us as if I do not slavishly follow the meta, but I do. But like, that was something that turned up in my scouting. Both of these teams, both of you guys, kind of had unique hero pools with very few teams playing all of the same heroes. I noticed that y'all preferred battleground selection. Do you feel that gives you the edge when you're more or less drafting past another team?
I think we just, I don't know if we think about it that deeply. I mean, I would love to be that smart in the game and have that level of introspection, but we just kind of do what's comfortable. We have the maps that we're comfortable with and the heroes that we're comfortable with, and we can just kind of roll with it. I mean, there's some stuff that we've done in the past that hasn't worked out. That's just stupid. Like we've taken some heroes that we shouldn't have, that were late game heroes, and we got blown up in the early game and went up losing the game for it. And we kind of learn our lessons from that. So, I mean, we just kind of go what we're comfortable with, Toast. I mean, do you have any thoughts on it? Like, kind of where I'm feeling.
I mean, yeah, we just typically just go with kind of what's comfortable. A couple of us have like a very, very large hero pool, so it really helps like make different comps with like some of the more main heroes that we like to have. Yeah, kind of about it.
Awesome. So y'all will be going up against either Habitual Line Steppers or Dragon Gall Z. I believe that match is scheduled for Tuesday. If you had to pick which one you'd rather meet in the finals, do you have a choice? And why?
Which one we would rather play? I would say Habitual Line Steppers, but that's just because Dragon Gall Z is, number 1 ranked team in the div. Obviously, you want to, knock them out. But to be completely honest, we kind of want Dragon Gall. We want because they're the only team that kind of beat us. I think we've taken only 1 game from them all season. So we kind of want to circle the finals and definitely go after them.
No, we didn't take a game from them. I think the team we just faced was the one.
That's right. Yeah.
They took 1 game from them the entire season in the div. And so other than that, they're undefeated.
Wow.
And we would like to be the ones to punch them in the eye.
Heck yeah.
But nothing but respect in that, like for real. But yeah, I personally want to face them. I want the opportunity to compete, and if we win, great. If we don't, mad respect for their game, man. So I want the best opponent. Bring it on.
Yeah, I love
100%.
that. I love that attitude. I love that approach to it. All right, I'm not going to keep jabbering your ear off before I let you two get back to celebrating with your team. Any shout outs you want to give? The floor is yours.
Oh geez. You know what? Shout outs to our opponents. Awesome job tonight. Awesome job for the season. Congratulations on making it this far. Awesome job to our Divi mod Crizzo. Thank you for like all the BS
Dealing
you
with
put up
everything.
the season. Yep. Herding all the cats, doing all the things. Shout out to every caster that cast us this season, and also shout out to my team, especially the guys that have we kind of picked 5 starters, and we've been hanging with those starters all season, but we've got some guys that are in the wings supporting us, and they're backups and they're waiting, and they don't get their chance to play that often, and so I just want to publicly shout out to them, and thank them for their patience and for contributing the way that they do. Toast, you got any?
Shout out to whoever's in your chat that just said Habitual Line Steppers was the person that took the game from Dragon Ball Z. Thank you for the correction.
Thank you for the correction. Yep, someone took a game. Thank you for pointing it out.
Yep. Any shout outs? NGS, all you guys, anyone from the div mod for Crizzo. I'm sorry for dealing with all of the drama, Crizzo. You're the best. The casters, you guys wouldn't make NGS what it is without any of these games being casted, so thank you very much for casting this game, man.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to do it. Thank you for showing such a fun series.
Yep, thanks for covering it.
Absolutely. Good luck in the finals, gentlemen.
Catch you down the road.
Take care. So there you have it. A strong showing from our friends over on Rooster Pizza. They're hoping to punch their ticket to the pin-winning club to get their championship pins against whoever they may face. They're looking at you, Dragon Ball Z. I'm excited. I think they looked very comfortable in this series. If they're able to keep these tight CC chains up, then I have no doubt that they'll give Dragon Ball Z a run for their money. That'll do it for me here on the broadcast. A huge shout out to all you. Thank you once again for tuning in and joining us for the series. It was great to have y'all chatting it up and supporting both of our squads. I'll also thank all of the fine folks who make NGS run, all of the volunteer staff, the board members, the div mods, the website folks, the analysts, the casters, the casting leadership, the etc., Etsy folks, Patreon folks. There's so many people working behind the scenes to make this league run, and they're all doing it completely volunteer. So a big thank you to all of them for giving us a space to play this game in a happy, healthy community. And last but not least, a big shout out to all of the artists, musicians, and programmers whose work I feature here on the stream. It wouldn't look or sound anywhere near as good without their contribution. You can use the !credits chat command to get to a list of all of their stuff. There's also a credit roll coming up here as soon as I sign off. So please do go check out their work. It's all Creative Commons licensed, so it is available for your projects as well if you like anything you've seen or heard. There you have it. Until next time, good luck and have fun out there. Peace and love.